next. Here we go. Eagles and Commanders for the right to go to the Super Bowl, and it was Jaden, and it was Jalen, and it was Saquon, and at stake was a ticket to Super Bowl 59. So it starts Washington as this long, drawn-out sequence. They kick a field goal. Eagles get it, and this, Dan, is their first play from scrimmage.
Yeah, some show last week might have said, hey, you got to run the ball on the perimeter against Washington's defense. Really good check at the line of scrimmage. Great block by A.J. Brown. Terrible tackling out on the in space by Washington. That place must have been an absolute electric factory after that.
And then, RC, the critical mistakes for Washington begin.
Zach Bond has been Johnny on the spot the entire season and all pro season. He punches the football out. Reed Blankenship with the scoop.
Hey, D. Wood, who are you going to give it to down by the goal line?
Saquon Barkley, man. Again, another perimeter run play. Goes in for the touchdown.
14-3 Eagles. After a gutsy fake punt, the Commanders are kind of hanging around. It's 14-6. They're in the game. Here comes Terry McLaurin, and there he goes.
Yeah, you get outside leverage by Darius Slay. One-step slant, balls put right on his chest. Scary Terry with the runaway.
So now go back the other way. This is very much a game. 4th and 5. Eagles going for it, and RC A.J. Brown.
This is beautiful. It's man-to-man on the outside, bump and run. He sees single high. Great throw by Jalen Hurts. Powerful at the line. Huge catch, and then they get the quarterback sneak into the end zone.
The tush push, Eagles up 20-12. Now, Eagles kicking off after the touchdown, and once again, disaster strike.
Something Washington's done so well this season, value the ball, helmet right on the football, and this is where you sit there and go, this game could get out of hand very quickly if Philadelphia scores.
Well, how many different ways can you give a game away than the Commanders did? Eagles score 27-15 at halftime. Washington now within 11 points. They still have a chance, and then one more critical mistake, this time Eckler.
But this is huge, though. This is Oren Burks, right? He's replacing the Kobe Dean.
Yeah.
Eckler's trying to get off the ground. The intentional peanut punch, and it's just another scoop by the Philadelphia Eagles.
And so back we go the other way, and here comes Barkley, and he almost breaks it again.
Yeah, great back scores.
And then
Thank you about to say that.
how we coaching Frankie Louver here down by the goal line?
That's exactly how you're coaching him.
The
Go
Giants
over
like,
the top.
so.
You want to time it. That's because you have no chance to
You ain't going to stop it anyway.
So you got to take your shot.
Yeah, and they actually, the referees threatened to award the Eagles a touchdown.
Which, by the way, I never knew.
I will confess, I had never heard that.
Yeah.
I'm watching the sport 50 years.
100 years.
I had never heard that. Finally, Hurts takes it in, and that was all she wrote. Pour the Gatorade on the coach and get the plane ready for New Orleans. On we go. Jaden Daniels will have his day, but this wasn't it. The Eagles are going back to the Super Bowl. The celebration is on for all of them. Here's Saquon.
I ain't gonna lie, I tried to downplay it in my head, but it's amazing, man. It's amazing. We're here, Super Bowl. But the goal wasn't just getting there, the goal is to win. And we're gonna celebrate, enjoy this, and get right back to work.
Yeah, I mean, it was just another game for me. That's how I treat it. That's how I treat every game. You got to go out there and earn it. You got to prove it. And, tonight we didn't earn it.
Okay, so we'll talk about Jaden as we go because he's unbelievable. What did you just say about Saquon while we were listening to that? The two things you're not supposed to be.
You're not supposed to be that talented and that good of a human being.
I know.
You choose one or the other. Like the good guys aren't as good, or the super talented are a little bit of a.
So, why on earth the Giants would have wanted to keep him? I have no idea. Look, this is what's going to wind up happening. John Marin not sleeping so well right now. All right, because the bottom line of it is we have to start having a conversation about the greatest free agent signings ever. You got Peyton Manning in Denver. Yeah. You got Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. You got Reggie White once upon a time in Green Bay. Saquon Barkley goes right there. There is no way this team sniffs the Super Bowl without Saquon.
Absolutely not. And I can be honest, it was an underappreciated move for me. I always felt like the Philadelphia Eagles had a really good run game, whether it was Miles Sanders or DeAndre Swift. I truly didn't understand how Saquon Barkley could elevate it to this point. He's a transcendent talent, and I believe I knew that when he was drafted 2nd overall, but that's how bad the Giants organization was, that this dude, this sort of human, this sort of leader, this sort of teammate couldn't elevate the play of the people there. What he's done in Philadelphia for a running back, he's shown that when you have a difference maker at that position, it can carry you to a Super Bowl.
Well, I think for me, one, You have to credit Nick Sirianni. I don't know if we've seen a coach grow and develop throughout a season the way that he has this year. At least since the beginning of October, he has been fantastic with the way that he's gone about his business. 2, Jalen Hurts told a lot of people, myself included, shut up, I'm good enough. He had not thrown the football well over the past couple weeks. He was fantastic yesterday. The ball came out on time. They ate in those one-on-one situations, the space that they ate up with A.J. Brown. And the last thing is this. This defense is the closest thing to the Legion of Boom that we've had since the Legion of Boom. And I say that with all due respect. They're not overly complicated. They don't try to confuse you. They line up. They're very simple. And they go, we're going to play with better leverage. We're going to play more violent. We're going to run to the football more. And we're going to tackle better. Like, RC, you got to love this clip. Watch the bottom of the screen, okay? Perimeter screens, huge part of what Washington does. Watch how in sync this defense is. Look at how those 3 guys trigger at the same time with the same foot. DeJean, contact. Slay, outside. Bond, inside out. Like, that's not an outstanding X's and O's thing. That's the simplicity of it. I have said all season long, count the number of jerseys that get to the football for the Philadelphia Eagles defense. Tell me somebody on the field runs faster to the ball than Zach Bond here. Bottom of your screen. Slip perimeter screen once again. Watch him run to the ball, and then when the tackle's made, he punches it. Peanut Tillman, count the jerseys in green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 3 in white. That's the difference.
Bottom line, though, that's the biggest thing Vic Fangio brought to the Philadelphia Eagles. Last year, they were lazy, they weren't physical, and they did not pursue the football in that manner.
Yeah, that's not 100% RC, because last year, they still were the most talented team, but they were horrible. Effort, tackling, fundamentals, and technique, and playing the team game. What happens is you got a real football coach here.
Yes.
This is a veteran coach, one of the best guys in there. They force turnovers. They do all of it. You think, what happens? No, there's fundamental periods where you teach takeaways. The great coaches will have takeaway circuits. One day you recover them. The next day you're forcing them. So he teaches it, and it's not just lip service. And he's multiple in his coverage things. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what you swarm. You get all 11. There's a thing we used to say, 11 something swinging, whatever. Run into the football.
He wanted to say it, but then he realized I'm on TV.
That's what they have.
In the break, you're going to tell me what it is.
Take it up.
D-Wood, so look, Saquon, unbelievable. Defense, unbelievable. We went into this game saying there was a question mark for the Eagles, and the question mark was their quarterback's ability to throw it. Did he answer that question for you yesterday?
No question. But he had, he gave, listen, early in the season, he gave the middle finger to us before when we were questioning whether he could be that type of guy. I remember like in that post-game press conference, like,
That's what y'all wanted.
That's what y'all wanted, right? That's what y'all. Yeah, it's a Pittsburgh game. It was like, that's what y'all wanted to see, right? And again, in this game, it's the same thing. Like all the chatter out there been talking about, is Jalen Hurts? Can he be a guy if he gets to a shootout? Can he be that guy? All he did was deliver plays like that.
Here was my problem, and Greeny knows this. I talked about some of the drops in the game prior to this on Friday, and when I look at Jalen Hurts, it's almost like we don't remember this man finished second in MVP voting, and he was a drive away from beating Patrick Mahomes. The only quarterback to count for 4 touchdowns and lose in the Super Bowl is Jalen Hurts. And I just never figured out why somebody got criticized for winning football games in the ways you're supposed to win football games, right? And it's about the perception of a person, right? Because Josh Allen threw for 126 yards last week, and they beat the Baltimore Ravens. And all we did was come in here and rave about how he doesn't turn the football over anymore. He's changed the way he plays. Look at this team winning with the run game. Well, that's what the Philadelphia Eagles were doing. And then yesterday, when asked to step up as a passer, he did something that we've seen him do before. The perception on the outside doesn't always match the perception on the inside. Nick Sirianni heard what everybody was saying. And who was the one person he pointed to on the podium when receiving the trophy? He said, how about our quarterback? He's pretty damn good, isn't he? Remember, Jalen Hurts is pretty damn good. Jalen Hurts went toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes. Let this dude cook sometimes and you can get some progression.
I'm gonna say this, because I'm gonna sit here right now and I'm gonna represent for my big fellas right now. sometimes we make the game of football more complicated than what it really is. Howie Roseman has done something that more people should understand. Big people beat little people. We talk about Saquon Barkley. Do you know the Philadelphia Eagles have rushed the ball for more yardage than any other team in NFL history? Because they got a wall up front that's able to just displace people all over the field. You know why Jalen Hurts can go out there and do the things he does in the passing game? Because they're so dominant in the run game, it forces defenses to adjust to give all of those guys on the outside one-on-one matchups. Ultimately, football is a numbers game. You can't stop the run, guess what? I got to commit more people to stop the run, because if you can't stop the run, you have no chance of winning a football game.
They're the ultimate pick your poison.
There you go. And so for me, I got to give Howie Roseman a lot of credit for how they've constructed this roster. It's just almost like, what do we do? What do we do to beat this Philadelphia Eagles team?
Well, that offensive line coach, too, is absolutely
another Hall of Famer assistant.
Because, look, they develop kids, too. It's not just that they have the great talent. They develop kids, all right? They took a rugby player who's now the best left tackle in football. Like, come on. So, to me, that Stoutman does a hell of a job.
That's Jordan Mailata, and they took Mekhi Becton and made him a guard. And they look, they are ridiculously good at every position on the field. And that 4th and 5 at the end of the half that they go for it, and he throws that ball to Brown up the left side, that was a big moment for Jalen Hurts.
All they do in that moment, they're going to throw him a slant, they're going to throw him a go.